Buckeyes Now on Sports Illustrated. I'm Brendan Gulick, joined by former NFL and college head coach Jim Mora Jr. to talk about the Buckeyes here, who are right smack dab in the middle of spring practice. Just had their pro day this past week. The Buckeyes are also watching more than a dozen of their former players get ready for the NFL draft. So we've got lots of different topics we can cover with Jim here in our second meeting. Jim, thanks for spending some time with us. I want to maybe reflect back on one of the things we talked about last time. You know, I'd asked you your thoughts around Ohio State's program success and some of the traditional things that you really liked about it. And you pointed to the jersey and how the uniform hasn't changed a whole lot. And it kind of got me thinking from a recruiting perspective. You know, you think about all these crazy photo shoots, guys holding their gloves and the helmets and the jerseys. And, man, recruiting right now is as difficult, I would think, as it's ever been to get a true read, a true evaluation on a high school player, because they can put whatever they want on social media, but you got to try to get to know who the player is and whether they're a good fit. So my question for you in that regard, how do you go about evaluating a player and figuring out if he likes being a football player or if he loves to play football?
What a great question, and such an important question to answer. You know, it starts with meeting them when they're younger, you know, at a camp or out at a practice. You know, your assistant coaches out there on the road in their spring recruiting and getting to know this player, watching them compete in practice, watching them compete in games. You know, are they all about the swag, or are they all about the ball? You know, do they stay focused, their body language? It's talking to their coaches, then being able to kind of decipher what their coaches say, because most of the high school coaches are going to promote their players. It's talking to people on campus, whether it be a guidance counselor, whether it be a member of the custodial staff. Tell me about this kid. You know, hey, tell me about player X. What's he really like? What's he like in the halls? You know, how's he treat people? And I think it's getting him to your camp and watching him compete at your camp. You know, do they exhibit all the attributes of a great competitor that you're looking for? And I think through all of that, you can find out if a guy just wants to be a football player or if he just has to have football in his life. If it's like eating food and drinking water and you know, the most important thing to him, you know, behind, you know, a lot of things, faith and family. Is it faith, family, and football? You know, and if it's, you get a feel for a guy. Now look at you get a feel for a guy, and sometimes you're wrong, you know, and you hate to be wrong and think a guy loves football and he really doesn't. You try to avoid those, but you know, I think over the years you can get a great idea of what type of football competitiveness and important and football character a player has.
I think that's one thing the Buckeyes have done really well historically. For the most part, right? You're not going to hit a home run on every single guy, and it doesn't matter necessarily their talent level, but it certainly feels like Ohio State's program has been built around a lot of guys that truly love playing football. You see sometimes positional changes. Yeah, coach, no matter what, you know, what the team needs, what's best for the team, I'm willing to do that. Sometimes you get those kinds of situations, but Ohio State historically here has some pretty high character guys. I think that's part of the reason why they've been so good.
I think they've created an amazing culture through the years where the most important thing is the team. You know, it's not about me, it's about the team. And, you know, Nick Saban used to have this saying, get out of yourself and get into the team. And I think they've done a tremendous job there. You're still going to see, like we talked about, the photo shoots and the jerseys, but it's not some wacky jersey, and they don't have all like the towels hanging all over and the socks. It just, you know, all the stuff. It's more like, hey, listen, you know, I used to have this saying, uniforms for men, swag is for little kids. You know, why is it called a uniform? Because we all look the same, you know, and yeah, you can add a little swag to it, but I think this maybe I'm wrong, but a young player's ability to kind of put his ego aside and step into that environment at Ohio State and say, yeah, I'm going to surrender my personal ego to the ego of the team. That's going to help us all, which is in turn going to help me become a better player, us become a better team, me have more opportunities to be playing on national television, be exposed to pro scouts, and extend my career in the NFL. my being selfless is going to help me when pro scouts come in here and talk to the coaches and they say, tell us what kind of guy, Brendan is. Well, he's selfless, man. He's all about the team. He's a great player. Well, he would do anything to help us win. That's what pro scouts want to hear.